So very vital win for Manchester United, that in the final of the Europa League. Joining us here at WION to discuss that match at length, and a very important one that for Manchester United, is football analyst Novy Kapadia. Novy sir, always a pleasure having you. Thank you for your time. Very big win, and we'll talk about the importance and the repercussions of that result in just a bit. But speaking about the match first, it wasn't quite the greatest spectacle, not what you expect from a cup final at times.
The match was a bit of a damp squib. I mean, my apprehensions came true that, Ajax froze on the occasion. But full credit to Manchester United and Jose Mourinho, who's, proved the critics wrong. I mean, poetry and idealism doesn't win football. Football is often a scrap. And Mourinho got his tactics dead right. He sat back, soaked up whatever little pressure Ajax had. Ajax had no plan B. That was disappointing. There was the creativity, the flair, the speed. They just got bottled up. And the simple thing he did, Juan Mata kept going backwards, as well as Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan kept fouling players. And, Ajax couldn't get any width. And it sums up, I think, Kasper Dolberg touched the ball, the main striker, who's, the golden boy, Danish dynamite. After 18 minutes, I think he got a proper touch of the ball. It was one-way traffic, disappointing as a final, but credit to Mourinho and Manchester United.
A lot of young names, a lot of young up-and-coming names in that Ajax side. And when we discussed, when we looked ahead to this final last night, you spoke about nerves, which would be their biggest test, perhaps bigger than Man United. Do you think that stage fright is what cost Ajax? If you look at the game in numbers, they did have 17 shots, but only 3 of them were on target.
Yes, stage fright. And I think the second factor is the lack of plan B. When you see, Peter Bosz has molded them in the Johan Cruyff style. This was the old Ajax, with relentless possession, interchanging of positions, a type of total football. But total football is, even if it's blocked, you reinvent, you keep on trying to attack in different ways. Here, Ajax, I think the stage fright. Both Traore as well as Amin Yunus, who we expected so much for, they showed occasional glimpses of brilliance. But the wing-backs couldn't overlap because of Mata and Mkhitaryan's tactical display. See, Romero, the Manchester United goalkeeper, he always kicked the ball forward. Manchester United played their plan to perfection. I saw Mourinho do this in 2007 when he was with Chelsea against Manchester United. Chelsea played a battle of attrition and won. He does this excellently. He's a man for the big occasion.
I'll hold you on that. There's lots to talk about Manchester United and their manager, Jose Mourinho. The man for the big occasion, and he's made it 4 out of 4 wins in European Cup finals. Listen in to what Mourinho had to say after the game.
It's the most important trophy of my career because it's the last. That's the way I look at things. Of course, Champions League is bigger than Europa League, but that's the last trophy, and the last trophy is the one where the feelings are under the skin, and is obviously a fantastic feeling.
Trust Jose Mourinho to get the best of a big game, and trust him to get the best of those press conferences as always. I will talk to you at length about Jose Mourinho in just a bit, Novy sir, but let's just discuss how big this result was for Manchester United. These were 90 minutes that, in a sense, defined an entire season. Champions League qualification was the biggest priority in looking into the season. It's a match which, if you look financially, was to the tune of £50 million.
Certainly, I think their contract with Adidas, would have got curtailed or cut down if they hadn't reached the Champions League. You see, plus the Champions League, many people don't understand, you get payment depending on your television viewership. And Manchester United, even if they don't really go on to win next season's Champions League, has viewership all over the world. So the payback that they will get from the Champions League is immense. And the third factor is you attract lots of top players. He definitely needs replacements if there's talk of David De Gea going to Real Madrid and even elsewhere, strikers. So there's, you have the money and the attraction of the Champions League.
But now that the season is over, if you look at the final count, it wasn't a great Premier League campaign. But they do finish with 2 titles. In a sense, you could say only Chelsea in the Premier League could say they've had a better season than Man United. All of a sudden, it's not as bad a campaign as many were putting it out to be.
He has revived Manchester United. You have to give Mourinho credit for that. You know, they say he who laughs last laughs best. He's laughed last because he's forged ahead of Guardiola, Pochettino, Klopp. He's, as you said, got 2 titles, and with this title, the entry into the Champions League group stage. And Liverpool now play from the 3rd round qualifier. So Klopp, who's down under playing in Australia just now, and the Liverpool players and fans won't be very happy. Yes, Mourinho has revitalized Manchester United, and now it's a stepping stone. But he has to move beyond. You know, pragmatism will take you so far. Now when you're going to play the big boys, you know, you can't just sit back and counterattack.
The final comment from you, Novy sir. Is Jose Mourinho still the special one?
He is still the special one. But, I mean, I think the way he used Paul Pogba. Pogba, for me and for many others, was the man of the match. And the way, you know, not only the shot, the way he dominated midfield and looked up to Providence. You know, he's lost his father recently. And he was in complete control. But, as I said, he has to reinvent this team. Strikers are missing. We don't know if Ibrahimovic will recover. I think Wayne Rooney, that gesture of the captain, that's the end of the road for him. And he needs a few more creative midfielders. Michael Carrick probably is on the way out, a better goalkeeper. So now is going to be the crucial test. But he's passed the first year with flying colours. I mean, he is still, you know, it's amazing. 2003 to 2017, for a manager also to last that long. 4th trophy. Yes, he is the special one. He rubs people the wrong way. He doesn't play pleasing football. You know, the lots of the pundits and the experts and even youngsters on social media. And as we saw in the press conference, he can be, you know, very abrasive. But he knows how to get the best out of the players. Ultimately, history remembers the winners.
History remembers the winners. Jose Mourinho remains the special one. Manchester United remain a celebrated team. Novy Kapadia, we'll see how next season turns out for Manchester United. I will thank you for your time, for all the analysis on this Europa League final. Hope to join you soon.